Hello everybody. If you were to tell me a month ago that I'd be writing and filming a report chronicling the rapid downfall of one of my favorite sites with one of my favorite communities, I would have thought you were ridiculous. Yet, here we are. My name is Caden, or as some of you may know me from what has become our many channels of communication, Phobia. I'm here today to do a bit of a breakdown and put together a timeline of the recent events that have wrought our community. This video is for anyone who just hasn't been present, has been busy, or simply not invested enough to really pay attention until it was too late. So for them, let's get right into it. As far as I can tell, the last known post by the real Hoodie Dog occurred on July 10th, 2019. Of course, none of us knew that at the time. Concerns would eventually rise. It wasn't long after this post that odd, incomplete, or even just questionable posts started being published to the site. Even a full-on advertisement for an escort agency in Miami was posted. Furthermore, staff posts were using titles directly ripped from their sources, whereas prior, at least when they were stolen, they retitled them. And then, at some point between July 19th and July 23rd, ads appeared on the Discus server, effectively burying the comments. I myself thought the comments were broken, as they have been on again and off again throughout the years. We're just going to wait that through. So after much concern, uncertainty, and worry, there was finally a comment. It was on a post from staff telling us to wait, and it was a comment from Hoodie, explaining that the previous posts were due to a newbie having just goofed. A timeline of 2 days was given. Hi guys, Editing Caden here. I want to insert something here as I apparently edited it out of my original footage, and that is the fact this 2-day promise was actually delivered on in the form of a post telling us to wait for a blog. So the answer was to wait for an answer. Not exactly satisfactory. It was also never delivered on, but I did want to insert this into here because that is an important point. Thank you. However, the community had already started to migrate. A Telegram channel was established, and as was a Discord server. However, that didn't mean there wasn't cause for rejoice. That didn't last long, though. A message was sent by this hoodie to our wonderful Perth Aussie guy, explaining his absence was due to a family emergency involving his grandfather, and that he needed 72 posts a day on the website to keep going. It was very strange, and furthermore, there was broken English. The whole thing set a very disconcerting tone for the entire ordeal. But afterwards, there was nothing. Silence. Not a thing was said for over a week. The silence, paired with that communication, just made speculation begin to rise even further. There was talk on the Telegram of what to do next. Do we give it some time? Do we wait it out? Do we try to find a new home? Or do we build one of our own? A few members of the community, headed by our very own Shivers, began to work out the logistics of making our own site with bookers and who's. And then, things began to come to light. We discovered the site had been sold sometime in mid-July, around the time Hoodie's last post was. The suspicions of an imposter were revealed to be quite well-founded and even accurate. This discovered advertisement touts the community as the website's greatest stream of influence, and thus, its greatest stream of revenue. With all of this, it wasn't long until civil unrest prevailed, as the facade began to slowly fall apart. Community posts were published pleading the new owners to simply reveal themselves to explain what was going on, but chaos reigned. The site was in anarchy. Alongside all the community posts pleading for an answer or an explanation, there were nudes being posted on the website just to test staff reaction. And then, finally, it came. A post from this new owner. It had said much the same. He had purchased the website for $55,000. Which we already knew. But it gave us more insight. Directly after purchasing the site, he had just gone to China. Seems like a pretty irresponsible thing to do after investing in such a large project. In the meantime, while he was in China, he hired some trainees to man the site, as in China, he was having a hard time actually accessing the site, despite VPNs being prevalent and relatively easy to access there. So, We don't know why he really couldn't communicate, or if he was really just that inept. He is now, supposedly, back in Australia. We actually don't know where he originally came from. Meanwhile, there was movement on the Telegram channel. A user going by the name of New Guy revealed himself to be the new owner, and swiftly provided proof to the positive. And thus proceeded an on and off again conversation over around 2.5 hours. I'm not going to go over the entire thing in detail, but there are a few key points that I want to go over. First off, this China trip was a holiday. So this guy decided to drop $55,000 on a website and just fuck off to China somewhere. You explain that to me. And then he maxed out his credit cards, which is why he couldn't pay Discus, which is why the advertisements came in, which was our first clue that something was off with the website. He did make a paltry promise to remove these ads, which he did deliver on, but we'll get to that in a minute. He proceeded to make excuses to why China was the reason that he couldn't manage the site and left it all in the hands of his trainees. Trainees who, he had mentioned in a comment, were Mexican. And then he clarified to say that they were actually Brazilian, which means he's really just a racist. Great. Supposedly, this new owner went broke buying the site, a point he almost immediately contradicted later when he seemed to just brush off $50,000 when he was asked if he realized that such a quantity was indeed an investment, a sum that he says he paid cash. So here's the thing. This guy was clearly impressed by the site, touting its 4 million page views a month, and then asking us, do you know how much money that is? He's self-admittedly not good with numbers, and I would imagine that translates over to his financial decisions as well, as all our previous evidence seems to point to. And then, the asshole colors came out to fly. He showed an unwillingness to cooperate and to even be respectful. He didn't last much longer in the chat, as he was reminded of the shape of Illy's mainland. It's a boot. Even as this was going on, however, swift and massive changes were being made to the site. The comment section was removed. Downvotes also removed. He began to revoke people's privileges of just self-publishing a post, so that everything that was submitted had to be staff reviewed, effectively censoring the community. We were even disabled from deactivating our own accounts, presumably to keep numbers up if he decides to sell. And now, this website that he purchased for $55,000 was stripped bare of the community that he purchased it for. So it lies for the future. At the time of this article, report, whatever you want to call this, the website has been decently underway. We have a new name, color schemes have been talked about, and we're almost ready for a soft launch. At least that's what we're seeing. So here's to greener pastures. Hopefully I'll have another one of these a week, but I'm not sure yet if there's going to be much to report on. So until next time, I've been Caden, and keep the lols rolling. Also, I want to thank all the Snapians who helped get all this information together. Rev, Perth Aussie Guy, Emily, everybody. If you helped out, you know who you are. There's honestly too many to name. I also want to give a special shout out to Liz, whose idea this was. And I also want to thank Blaze for helping with the editing. So, have a good one, guys.